Welcome to Elko Barbell. I'm Greg Smith, a National Academy of Sports Medicine certified personal trainer and owner at Elko Barbell. In previous videos, we've touched on a number of different variables that can be used to create your programming for your exercise to help you reach your goals. Today, I'd like to expand on some of those principles a little bit more and talk about all the various options at your disposal in planning out your exercise routines. As you'll see, there are a number of different variables that you can use to manipulate to put together your workout plan. It's important to utilize these in a coherent, planned manner to help you reach your goals most efficiently and safely. One of those variables, obviously, is the weight used when we talk about weight training, sometimes referred to as the intensity of your training, and often expressed as a percentage of your one repetition max. That's the maximum amount of weight that you could perform a particular lift for one repetition only. Repetitions is obviously another variable you can control in your workout programs. How many times you perform the exercise. For an example of a squat, how many times you go down and back up. Each time is one repetition. And there are different ranges of repetitions for different main goals in what you're trying to accomplish. And they should all be utilized over the long term in your training program. You can utilize repetitions in the 1 to 5 range to work primarily on maximal strength, which some people think isn't something that they're necessarily interested in, but it's actually very beneficial for your safety and your health and making long-term progress. Working in those 1 to 5 repetitions should not be avoided. For most people, it's actually a really great place to start. Build up your control of your body and the strength that you're able to display so that you can reach later goals down the road more efficiently. This doesn't necessarily mean from day one, when you start a workout program, you get under a very heavy barbell and do squats. It may mean a regression of certain exercises to work on your form and control. A lot of the people that I work with, rather than squatting with a barbell to start with, we might do a goblet squat where we hold a dumbbell in front of us and perform the squat motion that way. It still is a weighted exercise. We can gain some good adaptations for that person, but it's a little more easier to control than a traditional barbell squat might be. You can also use repetitions in about the 6 to 12 rep range. This is where you often hear and see about people training for hypertrophy or building muscle. Doesn't mean that muscle doesn't get built in the lower rep ranges, but this is the real sweet spot for building muscles. But again, in my experience, it's often more efficient to work on strength first, then get to building muscles more often. A lot of people will look at people that are where they want to get to, and they use the workouts that those people use now as a good starting place for them. But often those people in the workouts they're doing right now are not the workouts that got them to that point that they're at this time. And that's what people often fail to realize. It's what I failed to realize for a long time when I started exercising. You really need to develop a program that works for you at your fitness level now to help get you to those later points, rather than jumping in at step 6 where those people that you look up to might be now. You can also utilize repetitions higher than 12 reps. This has some benefit as well. A lot of people think this is building endurance. That has some merit. The biggest thing you want to be careful about with those very high repetitions is that your intensity is high enough. if you're using a very light weight so that you can get all those repetitions, you may not actually be challenging the body enough to see much of an adaptation. While these high repetition sets can be beneficial in certain contexts, it's important that that isn't the entirety of your training program. You do still want to have some exercises that are in those lower rep ranges for hypertrophy and strength, as we just discussed. Another variable you can utilize is sets. This is the number of groups of repetitions that you do. So using a squat example again, we might do a squat set with 8 repetitions. And that would be one set. Then we take a rest period, and then we perform a second set of 8 repetitions. Or we could change the repetition goal for that second set. But it's each grouping separated by a rest period. Those are your sets. And the total number of sets you utilize in a workout is another variable you can manipulate. And taking all those things, the weight and the repetitions and the sets, you can come up with what's termed the volume of your workout. And again, that's simply taking weight times repetitions times sets, and it gives you a total number of the total amount of pounds you moved for that exercise, or if you look at that volume from across all the exercises for a session, your total volume for that session. Volume is a very large driver of building muscle. So if you are in a phase where you're trying to maximize the amount of muscle you build, your total workout volume is definitely a factor that you want to control. And as you progress through the weeks, the volume should increase to really reach your goal. At some point, though, you won't be able to continue increasing the volume forever, so you will have to reduce the volume again and start over. Oftentimes, this kind of looks like taking a couple steps forward and then maybe half a step or one step back, but then you build a couple of steps forward from that. Long term, you're still progressing, even though at certain points it may seem like you're stepping backwards. It's actually can be beneficial and help you long term progress continually. I mentioned previously rest periods. That's another variable you can control. You can take very short rest periods, very long rest periods, and a lot of this has to do with your goals and the different energy systems you're trying to utilize. We've talked about energy systems in a previous video. When you're dealing with that very short-term 10-second type of energy system, it is perfectly fine to take 3 to 5 minutes between your sets of exercises. It takes that much time for your body to regenerate the molecules that it needs to generate that very short-term but very strong bursts of energy. If you're trying to work on other energy systems, you may want to shorten those rest periods. But again, those are factors that you need to work in and plan out to reach your goals. Regardless of your goals, all those weight training, resistance training ideas are really what you want to focus on. For pretty much all goals, some people are a little surprised by that, but even if your goals are losing weight or have something to do with a running competition, whether it's a 5K, marathon, you will still see a lot of benefit from weight training. For fat loss goals, the more muscle you build, the more calories your body will use, even when you're just sitting around possibly watching television. So building muscle can help you reach your fat loss goals. For the runners or other cardio-based goals, building muscle will help you be able to continually move your body for longer and make it easier for you to do that because your muscles are stronger, so it can really help you in that respect as well. That being said, if your goals do involve some type of running competition or obstacle course race, it probably is beneficial to still work on some aerobic conditioning as well. My recommendation would be to prioritize the strength training, but work in the aerobic work as you need to. Some people will be very surprised at how much aerobic conditioning can be helped just by heavy weight training. Other than that, though, one of the best forms of cardiovascular exercise is just walking. Walking is a great way to help your body recover from your heavy weight training sessions as well. And recovery is extremely important in your fitness goals. You don't typically actually make progress during your exercise sessions. It's your body's time outside of those sessions recovering from the work that you did that makes your body get stronger and more conditioned. And walking provides that aerobic conditioning, but it also helps circulate blood throughout your system and help you recover from your weight training sessions as well. And of course, there's all kinds of other forms of traditional cardio exercise, running itself, biking. If you have a rowing machine, use what you enjoy doing. Again, the more you can enjoy the exercise sessions that you do, the more likely you'll stick to it. And consistently performing your exercise routines is what's going to really lead to long-term change. At this point, you may be very confused and wondering how can you possibly create an effective program to help you reach your goals with all these variables? And that's a fair concern. Elko Barbell is here and happy to help you develop a program and help walk you through how to execute that program to help you reach your goals. We will also be there along the way to help you modify your program as needed based on how you're responding to it. As you can see above and behind me, Elko Barbell is now heated to make our winter workouts even more comfortable. If you're in the Elko New Market, Minnesota area, you're welcome to come here and train at Elko Barbell. We can also talk to you online and help you devise a workout program, as I said, and help you continue to modify that as you progress to help you reach your goals. You can reach us at our Elko Barbell Facebook page, at elkobarbell.com, or by sending us an email at training@elkobarbell.com.